child was reported missing on May 11th, with officers and multiple agencies conducting searches in surrounding communities and nearby coastal waters where the child was last reportedly seen. According to the TTPS, several individuals have been interviewed and statements recorded as investigations continue. The matter is currently being treated as a missing person investigation, with the Homicide Bureau and Special Victims Department also providing support. Police say the child's parents are assisting investigators as inquiries continue into all aspects of the case, including issues surrounding parental responsibility. The TTPS is appealing to anyone with information to contact the Scarborough Police Station, call 555-800-TIPS or Tobago 211. In more news, Tobago House of Assembly Chief Secretary Fali Augustine is urging swift answers in the case involving the disappearance of 2-year-old Angelo Tobias Plaza of Goodwood, Tobago. In a social media post, Augustine said the case has shaken Tobago to its core and reflected growing public outrage over the circumstances surrounding the child's disappearance. He praised police, emergency responders, volunteers and residents involved in ongoing search efforts, while urging authorities to intensify investigations and examine every lead. The Chief Secretary also stressed the need for accountability, saying any negligence or wrongdoing must be exposed and prosecuted. He further called on citizens with information to cooperate fully with investigators. The disappearance of the child has sparked widespread concern across Trinidad and Tobago, with continued appeals for answers as police investigations remain ongoing. In other news, the Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission, TNTEC, and the Rotary and Rotaract clubs of San Fernando South have launched the Spark Initiative. The campaign supports TNTEC's vision of powering the nation into the next generation by expanding its public education outreach program. It aims to build awareness, encourage responsibility, and promote the sharing of knowledge about energy use. Minister of Education, Dr. Michael Dowlath, said the program will equip students with practical skills, knowledge, and on energy conservation.
One of the things that we want to impress on the young people is this, that when you conserve electricity, you are conserving the natural gas resources of the future. When you go on to tertiary education, when you go on to further studies, we are expecting the young people to take the information gathered here in this launch and in all the other events that we're going to have to inform them about what we are doing now is preserving for their future.
Minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities, Clyde Elder, outlined several areas in which students stand to benefit from the program.
You are learning about renewable energy, electrical safety, engineering, drones, GIS technology, electric vehicles, and careers that many of you may never have even considered before today. So some of you sitting here right now may become future engineers, energy experts, innovators, environmental scientists, business leaders, IT specialists, or even future ministers.
The initiative will include annual interventions in primary schools across the country, as well as more advanced strategic programs targeting older students as they transition into adulthood. In sport, it was a day that would live long in the memory for the community of Simeon Road. On Sunday at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, Simeon Road FC defeated Wolfpack Icons 3-0 as they were crowned the inaugural East-West Corridor Football League champions. After an even start, a high-lofted cross was controlled by Karen Cummings before tournament top scorer Jean-Heem McPhee scored a beautiful left-footed volley. Kyron Manswell then doubled his team's lead in the second half, scoring from close range. An old goal from Wolfpack's Nathaniel Garcia would cap off the win that also saw Simeon Road win a cash prize of $120,000, which was presented to them by the Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala Persad-Bissessar. And that's what's making the news this morning. But joining us right now is Virmala Balkaran, the host of Trinidad and Tobago Today. Good morning, Virmala, and happy Monday.
Good morning, Carrie. Happy Monday to you. How was your weekend?
My weekend was a mixed bag, but it was nice. It was nice. I got some rest, kind of.
I am glad to hear that. Done. Yeah, I also got some rest. Listen, we were running on E last week. So
less than E. You're running on fumes.
So hopefully this week we will conserve our energy and not burn out a little too early. Eventually, we will win out.
At some point, we'll figure it out and actually get proper rest and stuff like that. I think it's a time management issue.
I believe so, and also stress management. Your cortisol levels are very high sometimes, and you don't even realize that. This morning, getting into the parking lot, I was speaking to the operator for Talk City 91.1 FM, and he was saying, look at how bright it is. And remember, we were talking about that last week. It is just getting so bright. At 5:20, I swear it's like 7 o'clock.
Yeah, when I left home, the light was coming over the mountains because where I live, I could see mountains, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, how late am I?
Yeah, I had a nice vision. It was so beautiful, that area around Caroni there. It was beautiful this morning. But what isn't so beautiful is all the fog and smoke that's around the Beetham Highway. So if you are driving there, please, please, please be safe. It was very hard to see. The traffic has started to build in that area. So it's the east and west bound lanes of the Beetham Highway. There is some fog there, and of course, visibility is being affected. So please. And
if you're coming from the western areas as well, there's some traffic on the foreshore, where they are by the SDA hospital. There's a long line of traffic going trying to get their way into the facility, because I believe there's a free medical screening being offered today, again with this program that is ongoing. And the traffic has been building up from very early.
Yeah, well, Carrie, also, if you're following the CPL action, I don't know if you are. I am a huge fan. Lots of things happening after the draft, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Also coming up inside the show, did you know that there are plans to rename Nelson Island?
Yes, I'm aware of those plans, and there'll be a public consultation as well, right?
Yeah, so hopefully you can decide what name you want to give to Nelson Island. You can probably submit that name. You never know.
Yeah, have you ever been to Nelson Island?
Actually, no. I was supposed to go there about last Saturday, not this Saturday, but Saturday before that. And I think I chickened out because I'm scared of boats.
Oh, yeah. I see. But you definitely missed out a treat. Nelson Island, it's so well preserved, and there's so much history to it, and the curators, they take care of everything, and there's so much to learn, so much to see, and you just really feel the weight of the history that is steeped into every aspect of the island.
Well, before we go, that's a good point. Producer also let us know that it is World Museum Day. It's International Museum Day. So it's such a fitting day to have this discussion this morning, talking about preservation of things from the past. So we're joined by Dr. Jerome Tilak Singh, who will be talking all about the renaming of Nelson Island and so much more on the show.
All right, looking forward to it. I'm a history buff myself, so I'm looking forward to that one in particular.
All right, Carrie, we'll talk soon.
We will. Thanks so much, Virmala.
You're welcome.
When we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going after this break.
TTG News, every night at 7. TTG News, committed, accurate, relevant.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
Kids, speak up against abuse.
It is not acceptable for you to be abused in any manner.
From your parents, family members, or peers.
You have the right
to refuse
the abuse.
Report it to anyone.
Guidance counselors,
doctors, teachers, or even your neighbors.
Anyone who can help.
Speak up
against abuse. Speak up. Speak up.
Speak up.
Speak up.
Break the silence. Child abuse is one secret you should never keep.
Barcelona drawing a game, not winning their first set of game. Worried, concerned.
Emotional damage is fantasy.
What a wonderful finish.
You see it? So, come again. One more time.
Hi, everybody. I am Leah.
And I'm Dion.
And we are
the Duncans.
Listen, we're here to tell you about a project the Lord has given to us called the Marriage Confessional. It is geared toward married couples, those that are on the road to marriage, and those that want to get married one day.
So join us on TTT and on Facebook and YouTube at TTT Live Online.
The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
There are a number of risk factors for heart disease, so a lot of attention has to be put towards preventive cardiology. What can we do to reduce the burden due to all these risk factors? Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, need to stop cigarette smoking, you gotta get people exercising.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Monday, 18th May 2026, the time now, it is 6:11 a.m. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Virmala Balkaran and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Let's take a look now at what's trending this morning. THA Chief Secretary Folly Augustine says Tobago has been shaken to its core by the disappearance of 2-year-old Angelo Tobias Plaza, stating that public anger is completely justified as way too many questions remain unanswered. Well, residents lit candles along the shoreline at Cambridge Trace on Sunday evening as prayers continued for missing 2-year-old. The toddler went missing on Monday, May 11th, triggering a massive coordinated response from the police, the Homicide Bureau, and the Special Victims Department. The Hunters Search and Rescue Team alongside TEMA has just wrapped up 4 days of intense land and coastline sweeps around Goodwood, with search operations resuming yesterday. Investigators are currently interviewing the child's parents, and even the Studley Park landfill was on strict lockdown as the high-stakes search intensifies. And in some weather news, strong winds and hazardous seas will impact this country through Tuesday, May 19. That's tomorrow, with gusts exceeding 55 kilometers per hour near showers and elevated areas. And residents should secure all loose outdoor items, anchor your light roofs, and please prune overhanging tree branches immediately. Marine conditions remain highly agitated. Mariners and swimmers are urged to stay out of the water and safely secure all seacraft until conditions approved. Finally, ensure that your power banks and your flashlights are charged just in case of any outages, and keep a close eye on the Trinidad and Tobago Met Service for official updates. And in some sport news now, defending champions Trinbago Knight Riders have locked in their homegrown core for the 2026 Caribbean Premier League season. The team has retained captain Kyron Pollard alongside Nicholas Puran, Sunil Narain, Akil Hussain and Terrence Hines. Rounding out the local selections are breakout players Joshua De Silva and Abdul Rahim Toppin. The squad also features fresh faces with the drafting of Barbadians Justin Greaves and Dominic Drakes alongside local talent Jed Gooley and Dexter Sween as TKR gears up for its title defense this August. Also staying with sport, congratulations to Simeon Road FC on emerging champions of the East-West Corridor Football League Finals. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa was at the Hazley Crawford Stadium and extended heartfelt congratulations to the team, coaching staff and supporters on an outstanding performance and, of course, a well-deserved victory. Well, a brand new week has officially started and we've got the opportunity to set new goals and really achieve everything that we put our minds to. And coming up inside today's show, as we promised, the renaming of Nelson Nelson Island is officially on the table. And we're going to hear from Dr. Jerome Tilak Singh on what he thinks about this. And also a little later on, a major food festival is coming up. So much to talk about today, so you know what to do. Grab your cup of coffee and settle in, because Trinidad and Tobago Today has begun.
TTT weather with Zaina James, daily at 7 p.m.
What if possibility was only the beginning? Welcome to Limitless, a journey where ideas become action and action becomes impact. From breaking barriers and challenging misconceptions to designing with dignity and driving innovation with heart. This series explores how inclusion is moving from concept to community in Trinidad and Tobago. Across each episode, we meet the change makers and everyday leaders turning challenges into opportunity, building real solutions that change real lives, from possibility to impact. This is Limitless.
आपका नाम क्या है?
अमिताभ, मिस्टर अमिताभ सिन्हा।
सो मिस्टर अमिताभ, आप इसकी आवाज बनेंगे?
वेट कितना है तेरा? 54, 59। मेरी आवाज का वजन उससे ज्यादा है।
That's the beauty ना। भारी आवाज आपकी बॉडी पर तो नॉर्मल है, इसकी चेहरे पे तो स्टैंड आउट। लोग आपकी आवाज के फैंस होंगे।
Stereophonic sonata, Dolby Digital sonata. Listen to the sound of sonata, sum sum sonata.
I'm Jamila Bannister, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays 6 p.m., Tuesdays 1:10 p.m.
Domestic violence continues to impact families and communities across the region, and many experts are saying prevention must also include conversations about men, behavior, and intervention programs. A public lecture hosted by the Coalition Against Domestic Violence will explore the topic Domestic Violence Prevention, what works for and with men. The session will feature Tyrone Bachmeyer, Director of the Grenada Legal Aid and Counseling Clinic and coordinator of the Man-to-Man program, a violence intervention initiative that has worked with perpetrators of domestic abuse in Grenada for more than 21 years. This morning, Mr. Buckmeyer joins us to discuss the issue and, of course, the upcoming lecture. Good morning, Mr. Buckmeyer. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, and good morning. Thanks for hosting me here.
Well, welcome to Trinidad.
Thank you very much.
It's really good to have you. How long have you been here?
Just so far from Saturday. I'm returning from work, similar work that we did in Anguilla last week.
Yeah.
Trying to get the Partnership for Peace program introduced there.
Well, speaking of your work, I know that the Man-to-Man program is very, very big. And I want you to tell us a little bit this morning, before we get into the conversation, about the work that it has been doing in Grenada.
Right. So first, let me say that Man-to-Man is a localized name for Grenada. The program is a regional initiative that is actually called for the Partnership for Peace. And that speaks to the broader overall goal of the program, which is to promote peace and harmony in families by working with male perpetrators of gender-based violence, specifically intimate partner violence. So this is a program that we initiated, or we piloted in Grenada in 2005. So as you say, for 21 years, we've been using this program in Grenada, and we feel quite successfully. The program has two really important philosophical underpinnings. One of them is victim safety, and the other one is perpetrator accountability. And victim safety, because what led to the initial development of this program regionally is the fact that we saw a lot of women, survivors of violence, coming to our facility in Grenada asking for help. But what they were saying is, we want the violence to stop. We want access to justice insofar as the violence stops. We don't want a man to be arrested and sent to prison. We don't want to lose a member of our family, but we want the violence to stop. So many times women will say, can you just warn him for me? Talk to him. And we felt that while we were working with survivors and children, and we felt successfully, many of these women were going back into the same relationships, right? And therefore the violence continued. So there was a recognition of the fact that we needed to do work with men who perpetrate violence, because if not, then the violence continues. A woman gets help, she goes back home, the violence continues. The family continues to be impacted and distressed. And that is what led to the initial development of what we call regionally Partnership for Peace.
Yeah. I know you've also worked in violence intervention for more than 20 years. That's a long time. Yeah. So then you can tell us this morning, you know, domestic violence, gender-based violence, there's been a lot of discussion about that recently. We've done that a lot on this show as well. What are some of the main causes of domestic violence involving men?
Well, first is to understand that violence is rooted in power and control, right? People who abuse do it because they want to exercise power and control over the abused persons. And for a lot of Caribbean men, violence comes, the propensity, if you will, to use violence comes from socialization. We grew up in a violent society. We have lived violence as part of our reality, whether violence from our grandparents and our, between our grandparents, our parents. As we go to school, there's violence in terms of the way punishment is meted out, right? Corporal punishment is still a reality. And then in society, violence happens as a natural course. So for many men, the natural fallback whenever they feel emotion, high emotion, their anger, they're angry, etc., is to fall back on what they have, as what they see as their physical prowess. And therefore violence comes from that. There are many other factors, of course. But because as I said, the second philosophical underpinning of the program is perpetrator accountability, the program really is helping men to understand violence is a choice. You make a conscious decision to use violence, and the program works with men over 16 sessions in 16 weeks to help them to learn new ways of dealing with conflict that are non-violent.
And now, what about the effectiveness of all of this now? How have you seen that abusive behavior can actually be changed through all of this? And does it take a while, or is it, as long as you said 16 weeks? Yeah. Or in some cases, do people need more than that?
The 16 weeks really is introductory, but it is intense. So over 16 weeks, we really challenge men to think about where did their violence originate. So one of the sessions is called Family History, right? Where we ask men to reflect on where the behaviors that you saw as you were growing up, that you have normalized because you lived it. And then understand that you have a choice. You can change this behavior. So over 16 weeks, we begin this challenging and helping men to begin to learn new things. We believe the program works, and that's why we're passionate about promoting it. Since we started in 2005, Grenada has implemented 36 cycles of the program. We've continuously run the program over these 21 years. We've had over 700 men referred into the program. We've had 560 plus of those men meet the criteria for successful completion. There is a regional criteria that says you have to attend these many sessions, your attendance and participation must be such and such in order to be considered a successful applicant. Successfully completed. And so we've had 560 men who have successfully completed. From our tracking, working with the police and different agencies and the court system, we know that up to today, the recidivism rate, that is the rate of men who have offended in a similar offense, who have committed a similar offense, that recidivism rate is less than 10%. So if you've had 560 men go through an intervention, and as far as we know, only about 56 of them have committed any sort of similar offense, I think anybody will agree that a 90% rate of non-reoffending is successful.
Yeah. But Mr. Buckmeyer, let me ask you this. For someone to actually start the program, firstly, they have to be a willing participant.
Yeah.
So the man has to say, or the person has to say, I think I have a problem, and I want to fix this problem.
Right.
So you can't really drag someone into it.
No, you can't.
Yeah, and no one is going to be kicking and screaming and then going into this, and then they won't give their all. So being willing is a great part about it as well. What role do families, schools, and also communities play in shaping how boys and men really deal with emotions and conflict?
Right. And this is a critical thing for us to continuously explore, because we are taught that to be a man in Caribbean context, you have to be strong. And that strength is around dominance and physical prowess. So boys are told you must not cry. Even if something really bad happens to you, you should not cry. A lot of us take that with us into manhood. I cannot cry because it's not acceptable. Crying is a source of weakness. That you have to show that you're in control of the people around you. So an expression we use in Grenada, men feel that they have to manners their woman, right? As in, keep her in line. If she steps out of line, it means I am not in control of this relationship. And as I said earlier, for many men, this idea of exerting control comes through violence because of physical prowess. So we have to go back to our education system from home, actually, to help men to understand that even if you cried or you show emotion, it's not a sign of weakness. In fact, this is often a sign of strength. So we have to sort of look at how we socialize our children, both male and female, that boys can be taught that it is okay to express emotion, it is okay to cry, it is okay to talk things out if something is bothering you. Because often when we're doing interviews with the men, when they're referred to the program and we're doing the intake, a lot of men say, well, they've never had an opportunity to talk. And when they try to talk, nobody is listening. So what happens is the more you feel you're not being heard, the more likely you are to become angry. So we have to do a lot of prevention work as well, and that prevention work has to be around helping men and women to learn to communicate, boys and girls to learn to communicate effectively, to learn to manage emotions and conflict effectively without resorting to violence. This is going to be a hard job because for many of us, again, we feel it is not acceptable to show weakness. I am 6'4", almost 300 pounds. I'm a big presence. So I have to make a conscious effort to appear, and not just appear, but to be welcoming and sort of make my space a safe space. But even men who are much smaller are told, well, especially if you're smaller, even then you have to be more aggressive because people will not listen to you. And so we need to ensure that if couples in relationships are free to express their emotions, to grow together, to share and discuss things together, as couples, as parents, your children benefit. And so, as I said, the overarching goal of the program is partnership for peace, to promote peace and harmony in relationships between the adult partners of the relationship for the benefit of themselves and the children of the relationship, because children are significantly impacted by violence within their families.
Keep seeing so many cases of that, especially in today's society.
Yes.
So now this brings us to the upcoming public lecture. So you are in Trinidad doing some important work, and now we get to see some of that at this lecture. So tell us a bit about the lecture.
Well, the lecture will be a longer version of this, really, to kind of have a conversation with partners and agencies in the work to talk about how can we seriously address the needs of men in terms of support. Because the work is not about just saying men are violent, men are bad, let's not bother with them. Let us work with the women and the children so they're safe. Women and children will not be safe if men do not feel safe to express their emotions and to engage in conflict management. So the Coalition Against Domestic Violence has invited me to just share about the Partnership for Peace, what has happened in Grenada, how it has worked, the kind of results we've seen, such as watershed, and what do we see as some of the important elements of working with men and boys. It's not something everybody gets right. We tend to take the approach that men are violent, and because the statistics show that predominantly in intimate partner violence, we have predominantly more females being affected by the violence than males. But we have to acknowledge that it is an ongoing conversation to work with couples so that their families can be helped to navigate these difficult circumstances. So the coalition, we're bringing together a number of partners. We're going to do a sort of hybrid session where we'll be physically in the room. Some of us, others will join us by Zoom. And it will really be about the partners asking questions about how this has worked in Grenada, what we have seen. I have to say that you mentioned importantly that the persons have to be willing to participate in the program. That's an important part of any type of intervention like this. The program is actually court mandated as well, so that in Grenada, 90% of our participants are referred through the court. Men who have been brought before the court on charges of violence, who have been given an opportunity by the judicial officers, magistrates, or judges can choose to refer men into this program, either as a condition of a protection order or even under the criminal jurisdiction of the court. But we do allow but even so, the men still have to agree. I'm not saying that because the court can mandate it, that the men have to do it. Because again, if you have a man who doesn't feel he needs any kind of intervention, any kind of support, court could say whatever, he wouldn't participate, and then he gets a bad report, and then the court falls in the other punitive sanctions that are available. But we do also allow for voluntary enrollment into the program. We actually have situations where pre-arrest, so again, a woman might go to the police and say, I don't want him arrested and charged, but I want him to be helped. And the police may call us and say, so can he do the program as a condition, so that if he successfully completes the program, we will not arrest him. So then we will enter women in legal aid and counseling clinic, the parties, and the police to then have a conversation around, is he a suitable candidate for the program? Is he willing to participate in the program? And if he does so successfully, then the police can choose not to arrest. Or even if he's been arrested, choose not to prefer charges against him with the support and the collaboration of the agency. So there are different entryways into the program. And really what we continue to emphasize is about the man understanding that the violence I use is a choice I made to use it. And so I can make a conscious decision to be nonviolent. Having learned certain new skills and techniques of engagement, I could learn to be nonviolent because my family will be better off for it. And family meaning current family, if the person is in a relationship at the time. But even if that relationship has ended, as is often the case, by the time because of the police and court procedures, sometimes by the time the matter comes to court and the person is referred to us, that relationship is long gone. But this man is likely to get into future relationships. And therefore the societal benefit of men participating in the program is that as men go through their life cycle, they are less prone to use violence because they have learned of the detrimental impacts that it can have on them, obviously on their families, particularly their children, and on society at whole.
Yeah. Mr. Balkaran, what message would you give to men who may be struggling with anger, control or violent behavior in relationships?
I think the most important message is to understand that there's help available, right? I know for many men, the idea of going for help, it might feel like weakness in and of itself. Help is available. There are multiple agencies here in Trinidad and Tobago that I've had the opportunity of interfacing with over the years that offer psychosocial support, counseling, and other types of support that men can access. If you are being abused and you feel that you need access to justice, men should report to the police. There was a time in our recent history where the police may laugh a man out of the station if he came to say, my partner is hitting me. That is a thing of the past. We've invested, I'm sure, multiple millions of dollars across this region over the last 20 years. I've been in the work for 38 years, and I know we've done a tremendous amount of work across the region, training police and judicial officers and so on to be sensitive to the reality, the contemporary realities. Something that is emerging now is the issue of women as perpetrators of violence. Should we be addressing that? Of course. And in the fullness of time, hopefully we'll have a program like this that addresses that. Same-sex relationships, that's a big feature. That's a feature of the region's reality now. And so we have to address that as well, because there's also violence within those relationships. So women have been more likely to seek help because of the networks and the sort of education and the fact that we've shown over time a great concern for the well-being of women and children. So women are more likely to seek support. But I want to say to men, support is available for you as well. Not only is it possible, it is available. And so we really want men to feel comfortable to access that support wherever it is available in Trinidad and Tobago, because at the end of the day, men accepting that I have been taught or socialized to be a certain way, but in the interest of my own well-being, the well-being of my partner, my children, and the society in which I want my children to grow up, I can consciously make a decision to be different by seeking help where and when I need it.
And it doesn't make you less of a man if you ask for help.
Not. Yeah.
Mr. Balkaran, before I let you go, can you tell us what you are most excited about or looking forward to with this lecture?
The engagement, because even after doing this program for 21 years in 7 countries in the region, so it's not only in Grenada, we've actually had it run in 6 countries outside of Grenada, and we've then made the rollout pre-implementation work. We've done this in another 4 countries, most recently Anguilla last week, because their Department of Gender Affairs is keen to bring the program on board. People still think it's impossible to work with men because they had headache, etc., but it's not so. And I'm happy to be able to say we have seen men go through this program, have really amazing revelations about how different their relationships can be. And so I'm looking forward to having this engagement with the partners so that we can just show that it not only is it desirable to work with men, it is necessary to work with men, and it is possible to work with men successfully to promote peace and partnerships for peace, that our families and societies can be more harmonious.
Thank you so much for being here. What a wealth of information that we can benefit from this morning. We are really, really grateful that you spent some time with us as you get ready for this event. So this is a public lecture. The information is on the screen for you here. If you want to reach out, there's an email address, there's a telephone number as well, and that is on the screen for you now. Remember, if you want to see this again, all you have to do is head across to TTT Live online, and of course, everything that you see here will be available for you. Thank you, Mr. Tyrone Buckmeyer, for spending the morning with us on Trinidad and Tobago today. Here's our social media channels for you on the screen at TTT Live online and at TNT Today Show. All our platforms are listed for you. We take a break and we come back with more on the show.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, We protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Since 1972, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off, long drives, or house lives. We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar. This isn't just radio, it's tradition. It's memories. It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Always 100, got you on your way. Sweet 100, sweet 100.
The plays that shake the arenas. The stories that move a nation. From football to cricket, track to tennis, every win, every rivalry, every headline. This is where Trinidad and Tobago come for sports.
TTT Sports with Nasira Mohammed, daily at 7 p.m.
TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Well, once again, we're at summer's doorstep. The action is picking up with a variety of events that'll thrive alongside all of the popular attractions. Hello everyone, I'm Aidan St. Agathe and welcome to Caribbean Passport TV.
All eyes will be on Antigua this summer for the 2026 Carnival celebrations, to which everyone is invited to feel the rhythm. With over 2 months of pre-events to warm things up, Antigua and Barbuda is event and activity driven. So if eco-adventure and marine life are among your passions, then Scooter Snorkeling is the tour company for you.
The government has officially launched the consultation process to rename Nelson Island, a historic site closely tied to the journey and legacy of Indian indentured laborers in Trinidad and Tobago. The announcement was made by Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa during a visit to the island alongside India's Minister of External Affairs, Dr. Subramaniam Jaishankar. Government says the initiative is aimed at ensuring the island's name better reflects its historical importance and national significance. Nelson Island is widely recognized as the place where thousands of Indian indentured laborers first arrived and were processed before heading to the plantations. And also, it represents several important chapters in this country's history. Well, joining me this morning to discuss the significance of Nelson Island and the government's decision to begin the renaming consultation process is historian and university lecturer Dr. Jerome Tilaksing. Dr. Tilaksing, good morning.
Good morning to you and your viewers or listeners.
So, Dr. Tilaksing, to begin, can you explain for us this morning why Nelson Island holds such an important place in Trinidad and Tobago's history?
Yes. One of the main reasons that it holds such an important place is that it encompasses different ethnic groups. And what I mean by that is that the indigenous people were there. They used it for fishing and trade. It served a purpose during the internship for the immigrants who came down here. Later on in World War I and II, it served us during Black Power time. You know, it was also important. So we had Jews there, we had the British there, Spanish temporarily had it. And I think this is one of the reasons why Nelson Island and the other 5 islands are important in our history, because we are tied to that in mainland. Trinidad is tied to those islands.
Now, for many Indo-Trinidadians, the island represents the beginning of their ancestors' journey in this country. So tell us a little bit about now the significance of Nelson Island within the story of Indian indentureship.
Right. It's something that, it has been talked about during the last week or so, week to 2 weeks. And Nelson Island has also been called the Ellis Island of Trinidad and Tobago, Ellis Island, like in the United States, because from 1866 to 1917, thousands of Indians from India, they went to Nelson Island to be inspected by the protector of immigrants. They had their bundles, their blankets, all these were fumigated, they were quarantined. And when they recovered and regained strength, then they would be sent to the mainland, to Trinidad. So they had a medical doctor, small hospital there. And the sick ones were sent to the Colonial Hospital in Port of Spain if they needed more rest after Nelson Island. And what is interesting, many people don't know, that the Indians who wanted to make a return trip to India after they served their contract, they had to go to Nelson Island, be approved. And also Indians from Suriname and Guyana came to Nelson Island if they wanted to return to India. So that Nelson Island is also tied to Suriname and Guyana's history for those Indians who wanted to return to India.
Dr. Taylor, I think for, the Prime Minister described the island as part of the, I quote, Jahaji legacy. Can you explain that for our viewers this morning, that term? What does it mean historically and also culturally?
Yes, that term, Jahaji legacy, it has been used often as, we would say, the Jahaji meaning brotherhood of the boat. And that brotherhood of the boat meaning that on that ship, people made friendships. People developed links that continued on the estates and even after indentureship. So Jahaji, it symbolizes the Indian presence in indentureship. It symbolizes Indian presence at Nelson Island. Friendships were made whilst people were being quarantined and allowed to recover, while they were being going through the administrative process. So it has a very meaningful word when we're looking at Nelson Island.
So now that the government has officially begun consultations to rename the island, Dr. Tilak Singh, what was your reaction to that announcement?
At first, I wasn't surprised because, as you would know, around the world, there's this movement to get rid of colonial icons, statues, renaming of streets. Recently, we took down the Columbus statue. In the last 5 years, we have renamed streets. We changed the coat of arms. So it wasn't a shock to me. It was something that is expected, and it's something that is global, occurring in countries that were once colonized.
Now, at the same time, you've also stressed that the island's broader history should be reflected in a new name. So why is that balance important? Explain that for the viewers this morning.
I think that balance is important because I will not want to know that the younger generation or future generations believe that Nelson Island just served during indentureship and was just connected to the Indo-Trinidadian history. So I think I would, like to see that narrative deconstructed. We move away from that misconception that Nelson Island, was just tied to one ethnic group. It was tied to the labor movement because Chubaliraya Butler was there. It was tied to Black Power because, some of those protesters were also housed there. So even the Jews, the German Jews who came down during the Hitler era, they were also temporarily housed on that island. So it has a wealth of history, and I think that it will be an injustice for one word representing Indians to be labeled, on that island.
So the government is saying that the public will also have an opportunity to submit our recommendations for this new name. Dr. Tilak Singh, how valuable here is public participation in a process like this?
I think it's a very wise move. It shows our democracy. You know, another prime minister or president might simply say, I'm going to change the name. I'm going to do it, you know, because we have the majority in parliament. It's often done so in developed countries where they go to war and they don't ask the public for their opinion. So this is a good sign. It's a healthy sign for our country. And I think younger people should take part in this process and be part of it. You know, other countries have something called a referendum, and we have this opportunity now, similar to a referendum, to make suggestions.
Dr. Tilak Singh, we want to thank you so much for that bit of information and helping us to unpack this. But I want to ask you to stay with us just a little longer, because when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about more of your work on Day of the Boy Child. So stay with us in just a few seconds. We'll be right back. We take a break and come back with more.
Attention viewers in Trinidad and Tobago. The Truth of God now airs on the TTT network every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. You won't want to miss the dynamic preaching and teaching of Pastor Jennings as he speaks from God's Holy Bible.
Believe what God says.
The Truth of God, every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on Trinidad and Tobago television. You can also watch The Truth of God 24/7 at the TOG.TV.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success, because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. We report the news, real stories in real time. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
May 16th marked World Day of the Boy Child, an initiative that Dr. Tilak Singh also founded back in 2018. And this year's theme focused on boys to men adopting good habits and attitudes, highlighting issues like mental health, mentorship, and the pressures that many young boys face in society today. Well, Dr. Tilak Singh is still with us on the line. Good morning again, Dr. Tilak Singh.
Hi, good morning again.
All right, so I couldn't let you go without touching on this topic. Now, what inspired you to create International Day of the Boy Child?
I started to realize almost a decade ago that many of the problems that boys were facing went into adulthood. So at seminars and workshops, many of the men were facing some issues. They were suicidal, they were depressed, they're addicted to drugs. And I started to realize that often the boys are overlooked in the classroom and the home. You know, sometimes boys are seen as privileged, you know, that they have a job waiting for them, they have all these opportunities. And I started to see that boys are victims of bullying, boys become deviants, boys are starting to experiment with illegal drugs. So they're suffering from mental health disorders that are often undiagnosed at an early age. And a simple thing like, you know, addiction to video games, all these things. And I realized there was also a crisis growing, and that was underachievement amongst the boys, and that the boys felt they didn't need to develop their talents. They didn't need to develop sporting and academic talents simply because they felt, you know, that they were entitled. They had something waiting for them. So I sense that, boys needed to be focused on. They needed proper socialization, and they also needed proper positive male role models.
Also, this year's theme, I know, focused on adopting good habits and attitudes. So can you tell us why that theme was chosen for this year?
I decided on that theme. I speak with a group of individuals, about 9 individuals from other countries, and we decided that there was a need for boys to have positive attitudes and positive habits. And when I mean positive attitudes, sometimes these boys are rude, disrespectful, they're considered lazy. Sometimes their habits are not healthy. And when I mean healthy, it could mean bad eating habits. It could also mean poor sleeping habits, the way they interact with their peers and persons from the opposite sex. We saw problems, in the other countries too, and, I felt there was this need to have good habits and attitudes, to instill these positive ideas into these young men, the next generation.
Finally, before we wrap up, Dr. Tilak Singh, you've spoken before about crime and violence and negative influences that are affecting our young boys. What interventions are urgently needed?
I feel that the priority should be more psychologists, more psychiatrists in the schools. I know we hear the term counselors, but I feel we need to go one step higher and ensure that we have somebody visiting the schools at least twice a week. Many primary and secondary schools, there are hundreds of children who feel neglected, marginalized, alienated, and I think it is time for that we give priority to these intervention strategies by trained professionals to allow our boys to develop better.
Well, Doctor, before you leave us this morning, what message would you like to leave with the boys and young men across TNT and the wider world today?
I would like to tell them that, all is not lost, that there are people, there are organizations, there are some governments that have their interests at heart. They should not feel discouraged, because a lot of times boys feel, that they only have to turn to a life of crime. They have no other option. So I want them to know that, that there are people out there who want them to become better, and we have stakeholders out there who are very interested to ensure that they improve themselves and make a positive contribution to society.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jerome Tilak Singh, for spending the time with us this morning, talking about Nelson Island and also World Day of the Boy Child. Have a great day, and we hope to talk to you soon.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. The time now just about a minute and a half before the top of the hour. Carrie is up next with the major network news. Also, we observed and continue to observe EMS Week. So happy EMS Week to all the emergency medical services. Thank you for your service, and we appreciate you every single day. We take a break, head to the news. See you on the other side of the hour.
There are a number of risk factors for heart disease, so a lot of attention has to be put towards preventive cardiology. What can we do to reduce the burden due to all these risk factors? Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, need to stop cigarette smoking, you gotta get people exercising.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Early prostate cancer has absolutely no signs or symptoms, and that's why we strongly push the men once a year, get out there and get screened with a digital rectal examination and a PSA, prostate-specific antigen, a blood test. Any PSA above 4 is abnormal. All men, once they hit 40 years of age, go and have that PSA test done.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
When it matters, we're there, reporting the news as it happens, because your world can't wait. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. A minor has been arrested and a firearm along with a quantity of ammunition seized during a police exercise in the Eastern Division on Saturday morning. According to police reports, officers of the Valencia Police District conducted the operation between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. as part of Operation Steady Guard. During the exercise, a male juvenile from the area was found in possession of a pistol and 10 rounds of ammunition. The coordinated exercise was led by Senior Superintendent Papunet, Superintendent Bihari, and other officers with support from officers of the Eastern Division Task Force. Police investigations into the matter are ongoing. In other news, 1 year after the tragic killing of young footballers Wade Allen, residents of Maloney marched through the streets in a peace walk, promoting unity, youth development, and a firm stand against crime and violence. The peace walk through Maloney was held not only to remember the late footballers Wade Allen, who was shot and killed last year while outside his apartment building, but also to send a strong message against crime and violence while promoting unity and youth development within the community. Captain of the Under-20 team, Kwame Waith, said there is far more to Maloney than the negative headlines often associated with the area.
Most of the time there's a lot of bad things highlighted in the community, but there's so much positive and so much good coming out of Maloney. You know, I just think we need more unity in the community, more getting together, more everybody, you know, getting to see. I think we need more people coming into Maloney to see that there's also so much good in the community as well. And there's a lot of leaders like my coach and my other coaching staff as well that trying to make the community a better place.
Head coach of Maloney Real footballers, Karen Bethelmy, said while the club has made more progress over the last 3 years, greater support from the corporate sector and government could help expand its impact on young people.
At the moment, yeah, it could be better, but we are making it better with what we have. No matter, you know, we would be appreciative of the help, definitely from the corporate world, from the government to come in and do some more things and help us, because, you know, partnership is would be able to do more than you could do by yourself. So anytime partnership is willing to be on board, we are on board.
Mr. Bethelmy added that following Allen's death, coaches from across the country have been encouraging youth groups and sporting organizations to work together in the fight against crime and violence. Chelsea have confirmed the appointment of former Liverpool midfielder Xabi Alonso as their new manager on a 4-year contract starting in July. The 44-year-old Spaniard was available after leaving Real Madrid by mutual consent in January, less than 8 months into a 3-year deal. Alonso previously guided Bayern Leverkusen to their first ever Bundesliga title in 2024, along with the German Cup. His arrival comes after Chelsea's FA Cup final defeat to Manchester City. In some more sport news, an incredible wave of energy took over the CIC grounds as over 2,000 passionate runners laced up for Nestlé's action-packed fitness event, featuring a Live Well 5K, a fun 1K for children, and the Purina Pro Plan run for dogs. Charged up and ready to go, the massive crowd kicked off their race from the CIC grounds, gracing the Queen's Park Savannah, finishing right back where they started. Nestlé's Nutrition Science Manager, Shonelle Myers, explained that beyond promoting vibrant health and wellness, the event was an opportunity to connect consumers.
This event is important for us because we're a nutrition, health, and wellness company. We ensure that we have good food, good life for our consumers. Being healthy, living well, enjoying life, enjoying food, enjoying taste. This is very important for our consumers to connect with our brands, connect with our partners, and live a healthy lifestyle.
Media personality Rome was on the ground, emphasizing that this fitness movement is exactly the direction Trinidad and Tobago needs to go.
I love the new 5K craze in Trinidad and Tobago. I love the whole fitness craze, and I want to thank the Nestle team for bringing this together in terms of this event. We're seeing all the different Nestle products. They're giving information. I just got my blood pressure taken. I'm seeing all of the great items that are related to health and wellness here in Trinidad and Tobago. So we're pushing that vibe. We're making sure we educate the people, get them moving. We want a moving TNT.
As a show of corporate social responsibility, Nestle extended its support by donating $2,500 to United Way to assist those in need across the community. And that's what's making the news at this time. When we come back, it's hour number 2 of Trinidad and Tobago Today.
The plays that shake the arenas. The stories that move a nation. From football to cricket, track to tennis, every win, every rivalry, every headline. This is where Trinidad and Tobago come for sports.
TTT Sports. Committed, accurate, relevant. Your heart, brain, and body work hard every day. Give them the support they deserve with omega-3. Packed with essential fatty acids, omega-3 helps support heart health, brain function, and overall wellness. Whether you're staying active, focused, or simply living life to the fullest, live healthier with omega-3. Wellness that works from within. Tune in to Wellness Unlocked on TTT Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:45 a.m.
Hi, everybody. I am Leah.
And I'm Dion.
And we are
The Duncans.
Listen, we're here to tell you about a project the Lord has given to us called the Marriage Confessional. It is geared toward married couples, those that are on the road to marriage, and those that want to get married one day.
So join us on TTT and on Facebook and YouTube at TTT Live Online.
The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
I'm Jamila Bannister, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays, 6 p.m., Tuesdays, 1:10 p.m.
Hey, up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 10-20 feature is just what you need. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
As Caribbean Posh celebrates its 10-year anniversary during Female Founders Month, we're joined by founder and CEO Jeanette Bryn, who has spent the last decade building one of the Caribbean's leading platforms dedicated to celebrating, connecting, and elevating Caribbean women through visibility, storytelling, and opportunity. Through initiatives like Caribbean Posh Weekend and the Icon Woman Awards, her work continues to amplify Caribbean excellence across the region and diaspora, as well as creating greater collaboration and recognition for women throughout the Caribbean. Well, last year, women from TNT captured 7 of the 17 Icon Woman Award categories, highlighting the country's growing regional influence and impact. Well, this morning, she joins us to discuss the rise of Caribbean women globally, the importance of visibility and recognition, and why nominations for the Caribbean Posh Icon Woman Awards, now open and free until May 22nd, matter more than ever. Good morning, Janet, and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome. So Caribbean Posh is celebrating a decade this year. When you look back, what was the original vision, and did you ever imagine that it would grow into what it is today?
I had no idea. I mean, I knew I wanted to build something, but I never had my finger really pressed on it. Um, this is something I've been working on for quite some time, actually more than 10 years. The event itself is 10 years, but the idea of Caribbean Posh as a platform came to me when I was in undergrad at college. I just knew that I wanted to do something bigger than myself, something that would connect me with women like myself as a Caribbean woman, at the time a single mom, raising my son, and, very career ambitious. I felt like it was important to create a space where our voices can be heard. I was living in the States at the time, and, I would see all sorts of people on magazine covers, all kind of things happening. But when I speak to women in my community, it was always this struggle to be heard, at the time. Fast forward to 2016, when I actually got the idea to bring Caribbean Posh to life with an event. It was quite exciting. I remember, I'll never forget walking in the room for the first time and just seeing all these Caribbean women, just beautiful, smiling, the purest unity. And it was just amazing. So with every year, I'm just trying to figure out what can we do better to bring us together and make sure that we're connected, make sure that we're learning, make sure that we're really tapping into not only our beauty inside and out, but our talent, our level of innovation that's happening across the region that we don't always have the opportunity to fully appreciate and leverage. So it was just great to be able to fast forward to today, where it's a full weekend experience and we have this opportunity to bring us together as much as possible and really tap into our inner strengths.
Now, over the last 10 years, how have you seen Caribbean women evolve in terms of leadership, visibility, and also global influence?
Yeah, I mean, we're so blessed to have the likes of Rihanna inspiring us, the likes of Mia Motley. We have some great Caribbean women doing amazing things, from our celebrities that we admire to everyday women who are doing really, really innovative things that we don't always get to, fully embrace and appreciate. So I'm very intentional about this platform being a place where we can really, really lean into that diversity. And I can't stress the level of innovation. We have true women founders throughout the region. And if we just tap into them more, I think our region will be elevated so much more. We're living in tough times with all these global major issues going on. But as a region, if we just lean into these opportunities to come together, there's so much we could do for ourselves economically. So that's one thing that really excites me. And I think that's what's happening with us right now.
Well, currently on the screen, we're seeing some pictures of those seven of the 17 Icon women. They won the Icon Woman Award categories. So we're seeing those Trini women on the screen right now. Yeah, and that's a huge thing for us. 7 out of 17.
Candace came to the event, her and her husband. They were so happy to join us in celebration and just really, have a good time and connect and, build long-lasting relationships. That's another thing that excites me. When we get the opportunity to get together, we're building relationships and we're learning how to work together more smartly when it comes to collaboration. So the awards and just the event itself, it leads to so much.
Now, one of the things that Caribbean Posh is known for is also bringing women together across the islands and the diaspora. Now, why is regional collaboration so important for the future of the Caribbean?
Well, I really stress that a lot because it's like I was saying, like we know we have this war going on in the world and how those type of situations trickle down to us here in the Caribbean. And when we think about our everyday life, our cost of living, our ability to grow our businesses and those sort of things, if we really embrace opportunities like this where we're able to learn, for example, one of our honorees this year is Dr. Ligana Henry. She's the founder of Rum and Sargasm, a company in Barbados that's using their creative innovation to use sargassum to power vehicles. Like, how many of us knew that that kind of work was going on right here in the region? And if we amplify things like that and the amazing women behind these innovative initiatives, it could lead to so much more economic growth across the region. If we just lean into those things and be intentional about smart collaboration, I think those are the things that lead to further economic growth and help us to be less dependent on, global entities. There are a lot of things we can do for ourselves if we just collaborate smartly. And then when you think about, shopping Caribbean, I like to really stress that importance too. I always get so excited when I meet women who are also founders of various products that are everyday products that we use. We might not be familiar with because we're accustomed to, say, a US brand or some international brand, but there's a Caribbean company and ironically a Caribbean woman that might be making that same product. Imagine if we lean into those, our people more, invest in our people more, and see more of our products in our grocery stores, not only in our respective island, but across the Caribbean. So I would personally love to see more of that. And I definitely, I'm always trying to be intentional about making sure Caribbean Posh lends itself for those type of opportunities to be amplified.
Yeah, well, before we go, Janet, I know that nominations are currently open and free, I believe, until May 22nd. So can you tell us where we can get more information about that, if anyone wants to go and maybe put forward a nomination?
Yes, I'm inviting everyone in Trinidad to visit our website, www.caribbeanposh.com/WKD is our event page. There you'll find information about the awards, about Caribbean Posh Weekend itself. Nominations do close May 22nd. You can nominate yourself. You can nominate another amazing woman in your community doing amazing things. And guys, don't feel like it's all about the women. Well, it is all about the women, but make sure you're taking an opportunity to recognize the amazing women in your life. So yes, this is an opportunity. We have a diverse number of categories, and we shouldn't be shy about celebrating our hard work, our innovation, and just our strength as Caribbean people.
And we have that website up for you. It's CaribbeanPosh.com. Thank you so much, Janet, for joining us. And, hopefully people go.
One more thing.
Yeah.
If you're looking, we are inviting you to join us in BVI for this celebration. So don't be shy about that either. We're partnering with regional airline carrier Inter-Caribbean is offering 25% off airline rates. And we'll have various promotions leading up to the event to get you some discount tickets. This is the ultimate girlfriend getaway, so let's do it. I'd love to see you guys in BVI.
All right. Thank you, Janet. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you as well.
All right. That's Janet Brin, the Caribbean Posh founder and CEO. We take a break and come back with more on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Honoring the beauty of Indian heritage, TTT invites you to immerse yourself in Desi May as we mark Indian Arrival Month with color, music, and magic of Indian cinema. Throughout May, enjoy your favorite Bollywood hits and timeless classics, from iconic blockbusters to treasured favorites, bringing the heart of India straight to your screen. Tune in every Saturday at 8:35 p.m. and every Sunday from 4 p.m. to experience rich traditions, captivating stories, and unforgettable characters that continue to inspire generations. Plus, watch, text, and get rewarded for our exciting viewer promotion. Desi May, celebrating Indian Arrival Month, exclusively on TTT.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
What if possibility was only the beginning? Welcome to Limitless, a journey where ideas become action and action becomes impact. From breaking barriers and challenging misconceptions to designing with dignity and driving innovation with heart. This series explores how inclusion is moving from concept to community in Trinidad and Tobago. Across each episode, we meet the change makers and everyday leaders turning challenges into opportunity, building real solutions that change real lives, from possibility to impact. This is Limitless.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
To know that this is a real thing. It have hope, even though that persons don't survive. At least you still have a little time.
Yes.
And to cherish the time that you have with your loved ones while they're going through.
Yes.
Listen.
Show up for them.
After my diagnosis, I real extra now.
As you should.
I real extra.
Cancer does not only affect the body, it also impacts emotional well-being, mental health, and entire families. That is the mission behind the All Cancers Group TT, an organization focused on creating support systems, raising awareness, and reminding persons affected by cancer that they are not alone. On May 23rd, the group will host its Lean On Me Too Cancer Care and Mental Health All-Inclusive Seminar at the San Fernando North Community Center, bringing together survivors, caregivers, medical professionals, and members of the public for a day focused on healing, support, and of course, empowerment. Well, joining me this morning to tell us more is the founder of the All Cancers Group, Sade Weeks. Good morning, Sade.
Good morning. A pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
So this is a really beautiful group, just going through the page on Facebook, you'll see it's very active.
Yes.
Lots of people benefit from this group and contribute to this group as well. So can you tell us about the vision, the mission, the purpose of this group? Why did you decide that this was needed?
So with regards to the organization, I'm a cancer survivor of 6 years and counting. And after my journey with cancer, I was led to have this organization, so to kind of bridge the gap between what was needed for not just for the patients and the survivors, but for the family as well, because it's not just the person dealing with cancer, but their whole entire environment that is being affected, their family members, friends, loved ones. So when I got the push to do to have the organization, the mission and the vision is simple, you know, to unite persons against the fight against cancer, bring awareness, education, and you know, information is key. A lack of information is you know, something that we deal with in society where it comes to cancer, and it's still taboo to talk about today. So we are trying to break down those barriers, put as much information as we can out there, and you know, really kind of support the family and the survivor as well through diagnosis into survivorship. Yeah.
Now, what has been the feedback to this group? I from what I saw on socials, it looks incredible. But how have people responded to this?
So we're a young group, we are going into 3 years of existence now, and the support and the response has been overwhelming from other cancer foundations as well. We always have support from the Southwest Regional Health Authority, Augusta Salong Oncology Department as well too. So we constantly are in league with them, liaising with them, trying to help where we can, asking what is needed so that we can raise funds and help where we can. You know, it's a team effort, you know, so when we have events like health fairs and so on, we invite other organizations so that we can show a united front against a disease that, you know, basically bullies you, you know, during that time of the disease.
We're seeing some images on the screen a little before we saw one. So these are members of your group?
Yes, this was our first Lean On Me event, so it's an annual thing. We have it in May is the month of Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah.
So the event focuses on mental health as it relates to cancer, and that is something really, really important, because we fight the disease physically, but then we forget to deal with the emotional, mental, and spiritual trauma that it actually leaves behind. So when I got the vision for this this particular initiative, it was really dear to me, because after my diagnosis, I think it was a year after, I really sat down and realized what I went through and how it affected me mentally. You know, the physical trauma that you experience with what happens to your body, you know, it's a lot. And we want to kind of bring in families in that, because, you know, we're talking about, you know, intimacy issues between, you know, husband and wife who are caretakers for each other, that may go through things that they can't talk about. Caregivers, you know, loved ones who don't know how to navigate cancer and how to even talk to a cancer patient, because it is such a debilitating disease, you know? So that's the way the support, my team, what we try to do with this initiative, and it's going to be an annual thing. So this is our second one, hence the name, Lean On Me Too, but me too, because I am also going through this as well. It's not just you, it's me too.
I love that.
Yeah.
So tell us about this year's event, and when is it taking place, and how can we be a part of this?
So this year, the event is on May 23rd, as you know. The registration starts at 7:30, but we officially start the event at 8:30 a.m. and it's a whole day seminar. So we have medical professionals, psychologists, spiritual advisors there to really hit every aspect of mental health, that you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. We're talking about holistic health here. So we don't want you to just heal from cancer physically. We want it healed up here too, and in your heart as well. So the day is going to be filled with a lot of information. But it's not just sitting down listening to talks. We have giveaways, we have free food, refreshments, we have interactive booths. We have a lot of of sponsors that have come together, and it was so amazing the response that we got. So we have sponsors like Pasasi, Food King and Crave Restaurant. We have Bright Ideas Home Store, Brand Source, Proval. They came together and they have really generously gave to the initiative. So we have so many giveaways on the day. We have free massages that will be given to the attendees by the Institute of Medical Education. They're coming with a full team to give you free massages, and this is something that they do for us now every year. So we have a full day of wellness and support, and you can get the information you need. We have counseling corners set up for persons who would need the counseling and the support that they need afterwards as well.
Now, before we go, can you tell us how can we be a part of this? How can we assist or contribute towards this event?
So the tickets for the event is $150. All cancer survivors and patients are free. But at this point, because of the amazing support that we have, we just want persons to come to the event. So if you want to get in contact with us on social media, either Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram, it's at theallcancersgroup.tt. You can DM us and just let us know your name and your contact so that we could have you listed on our records. And when you come in, just come and enjoy the day. We set this initiative up for you. This is not for us, it's for you, it's for your family, it's for your friend. Come with your support team and enjoy a day of wellness, connection, and healing.
Also, before we wrap up, what would you like to say to anyone this morning who may be struggling, maybe with a recent diagnosis, or maybe, just a family dealing with a lot because of a loved one living with cancer?
Simply don't try to do it alone. Cancer is not a disease that fights by itself. It is, a disease that, works in a group. So don't try to fight this disease and this diagnosis by yourself. Talk to someone. It doesn't matter if it's just one person, but leaning on someone is part of the battle, and then you're sharing the burden. It's important. It's something that I advocate for, because I went through it and I had an army behind me of support. I had so many persons to lean on, and my team at the All Cancers Group, they understand this. We have cancer survivors as a part of the team as well. We can't do this alone. So reach out to us, reach out. We have support systems put in place. We have so many other initiatives. Reach out to us and we will try to help as much as we can, but don't do this alone. We are here for you. We're here to support you. Lean on us as we get you through this challenging time.
Thank you, Shade. That's Shade Weeks, the founder of the All Cancers Group TT. So reach out to them on social media and be a part of this amazing event called Lean On Me Too. Thank you, Shade.
Thank you.
All the time, 7:32. But before we go to the break, just an update for you. It is day 5 of the search for missing baby Angelo, and the search is underway. Members of the Hunters Search and Rescue Team are preparing to resume their operations in Tobago. Now, team members are also saying to us this morning that they remain optimistic and hoping there will be a positive outcome in this case, but they're also preparing themselves for every possible scenario. So we'll bring you all the updates as they come to hand. We take a break and we come back on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Whatever the skies bring, stay prepared with TTT Weather. Committed, accurate, relevant.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
The time is now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. No, not that. Right now.
All I need is one night. We're gonna have to splurge on it. All I need is one night. I went deaf on it.
No, not that. Right now.
All I need is one night. We're gonna have to splurge on it. All I need is one night. I went deaf on it.
This is the new day.
A new sound, a new style, a new style, a new class. Next 99.1 FM, the next level of radio.
Right now.
Barcelona drawing a game, not winning their first set of game. Worried, concerned.
Emotional damage is fantasy.
What a wonderful finish. You see it? So, let me come again. One more time.
As Trinidad and Tobago prepares to celebrate Indian Arrival Day, one major cultural event is bringing together food, heritage, entertainment, and charity all under one roof. Agman Indian Food Festival 2026 promises to be an immersive celebration of Indo-Caribbean culture, featuring authentic Indian cuisine, live performances, and recognition of Indo-Trinidadian excellence, all while giving back to the community, with part proceeds benefiting the Rapid Fire Kids Foundation. While the event takes place on Saturday, May 30th at the Hilton Trinidad, we'll get more information about that. Well, joining me this morning to tell us all about it is Chef Umesh Meena, proprietor of the Meena House and the man behind Agman 2026. Good morning, Chef.
Thank you. Thank you for having me this morning.
Well, you didn't have a very long journey. It's just across the street.
Yes,
So you are our neighbor, and it's good to have you here. So firstly, tell us what Agman means.
Well, Agman means in Hindi arrival, but we came up with the name because it sounds like arrival of our people many hundreds of years ago, and celebrating their journey, identity, culture, heritage, and we being an Indian restaurant, and I feel giving back to the community is kind of responsibility. Yeah. So we come up with the idea of celebrating. Last year we did a small celebration at the restaurant, well accepted. Also, when I was a chef at Hilton, I did 2 Indian food festivals, similar time, and they were well accepted as well. Yeah.
So this is definitely not your first festival.
No.
So let's talk about the festival being held for Indian Arrival Day now. So how important is it for you to celebrate our Indo-Caribbean heritage through food and culture?
Well, as a outside perspective, you see, I lived in Jamaica a little bit and St. Lucia, St. Vincent. When I came to Trinidad, obviously it's a different environment. I mean, Indian community live in Jamaica too, and St. Vincent, St. Lucia. I met a lot of local Indians, but this is different. This is some of these people actually preserved and their heritage so deeply, where I'm surprised myself meeting the people and knowing because they are very some of them very traditional, and they know a lot more than a lot of Indians don't know, because preserving is everything for your culture and heritage.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the event now.
Well, event is sharing. Inviting people who working on this preservation and like Dr. Virmala Balkaran Singh, Dr. Kumar, they will be there on their booths, sharing the culture and history of a little bit of Trinidad and how Indian indentured they came to Trinidad. And obviously the live music, a lot of cultural, a lot of young people will perform. Kavish the band is there, DJ, Kid Frost is there. And then a lot of, like Draupadi will be there.
Yes.
Right?
And you're honoring
yes, we're honoring Draupadi and we're honoring Mangal Patesar, Dr. Balkaran Singh, and Dr. Kumar Mahabir.
Yes.
Yes, and many more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some really important names, not just in Indo-Caribbean heritage, but also in Trinidad and Tobago as well, and the wider Caribbean and the diaspora.
Right.
So let's talk about the food now. I mean, this is your forte, so I can only imagine how curated this is going to be.
Yeah, so you can tell a story through food, and food is a culture. Where you come from, you always have touch of your culture and your food. So our philosophy is to create something pure. The spices to fresh ingredients to using obviously Trinidad vegetables and what we get locally. Cooked with perfection, cooked with love, and then it's a combination of everything.
Yeah.
Food is just one side of it. Yeah, so we're going to celebrate this Indian Arrival Day with food, culture, and heritage, and history of people who arrive and how they kept their identity after hundreds of years.
And not just that, but also charity. I know that the Rapid Fire Kids Foundation is also involved. So tell us about the proceeds going to that.
So we are supporting Rapid Fire Kids Foundation for many occasions, but recently, 16th of May, we had a privilege to sponsor the lunch in South San Fernando, 16th of May. And this, for Agman, will be the proceeds will go to Kids Foundation. They're doing a lot of work supporting children for many causes. So yes, we're supporting the charity for this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, for persons who probably never experienced Indian culture or cuisine, what would you say to them to encourage them to attend this event?
Well, I think Trinidad society is knowingly, unknowingly, it's everything.
Yes.
India and all different races lives together. So a lot of things you don't know, probably you will get to know. It's a knowledgeable event.
Yeah.
If you attend, you will know your history, which if you live in West, probably you don't know what's happening in South and what's happening in the villages, right? So I think it's all about making aware and making, show them that what we celebrate and why we're celebrating, and basically.
Yeah. So for all the details on this, where can we get the information?
So we have our online platform have all the information. Our social media have all the information. The MeenaHouse.com and the Meena House Instagram and Meena House official on Facebook. And tickets are available Hilton Store and Nixon X in South Trinity Insurance and both restaurant, Elysian Bar and Lounge and the Meena House. And what else? Yeah, you can purchase online or you can go physical tickets. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Chef, for being with us today. We're looking forward to Agman 2020.
Let me mention my sponsors before I go. So Balroops are doing all the sounds and music, and Mystical Movement doing the decor. They're sponsoring the event. And obviously Hilton, they obviously accommodate us. It's a Hilton ballroom. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Agman 2026. We're looking forward to that. Thank you, Chef. No problem. All right, 7:43. Take a break and come back to wrap.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on, you know.
I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network,
and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel, and I never regretted it.
All right, settle on. Let's you made the roster this year.
Excuse me, sir.
Ahí ya le queda cosa, mi amigo, ahí te la digo.
Mr. Hoyt,
Yes, Principal.
are these the new students?
Yes. The best of the best.
Say, CEO, what if the term now start and these children missing school already?
Hey, what are you doing there?
Introducing the new class of Next 99.1 FM. Your news, anytime, anywhere. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
What if possibility was only the beginning? Welcome to Limitless, a journey where ideas become action and action becomes impact. From breaking barriers and challenging misconceptions to designing with dignity and driving innovation with heart. This series explores how inclusion is moving from concept to community in Trinidad and Tobago. Across each episode, we meet the change makers and everyday leaders turning challenges into opportunity, building real solutions that change real lives, from possibility to impact. This is Limitless.
Smooth jazz, groovy soca, and a good cause all come together next month for the Vineyard. Jazz meets groovy soca, a food-inclusive cool event in support of enhancing the library at St. Xavier's Private School. The event takes place on June 6th in St. Joseph, and joining us this morning to tell us a little bit more are entertainer and organizer Sherwin Winchester, along with Miss Jade Woodruff from St. Xavier's Private School. Good morning to you both.
Hi, a pleasant morning. Hi.
It's good to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
You are very tall. Yeah. I just realized that you are very tall, and we feel pretty short. A little bit short. Yeah. So first, tell us a little bit about the Vineyard. How this event came together.
The Vineyard is an event that is based around school, helping out schools, whatever they are in need of. We come in as Team A+, and work with the school, raise the funds, and then we bring in a team, use the funds, and execute on giving them whatever that goal was set, and then we move on to the next school, and then we come back the following year if the school have other needs. So this is our third edition of the Vineyard at St. Xavier's Private School.
Yeah.
This year's goal is the library.
The library.
Correct.
Well, tell us a little bit about that, Jane. The library. What this event will help a lot going towards what? The restoration of the library. What exactly?
It is the restoration of the library.
Yeah.
Yes. So we want to always continue encouraging our kids to read, because it's definitely a foundation and part of our education.
Yeah.
So along with showing, we hoping to to bring this beautiful event again. Listen, if you're not there, I don't really know what to tell you. It's such a fantastic event.
I know it's a fusion of jazz and groovy soca.
Correct.
So that's a real interesting combination.
Yeah.
Let's find out why that was. Why you thought you could do this.
The first idea was the month of June. It starts that jazz experience that people go to, and we wanted to also highlight that of Trinidad and Tobago, where we have such groovy soca, sweet music. So you imagine it's about 5 p.m. in the evening, and you walk in, you have your cooler, you bring your drinks inside your nice little bottle of wine and so, and we have everything else covered. We have the food, we have the dessert station, we have the ambience, the decor, and entertainment to blow your mind.
Listen, the cast is to die for.
But tell us about the cast.
So we have Freetown Collective. We have Nisa.
Yes.
We have
Miss-
Showing,
thank
the
you,
team.
and the van.
We have the absolute and beautiful Vonnet Bigford.
Yep.
And we also have the lovely Tony Paul, which is my husband. Yes.
Your favorite.
Yeah.
We can see.
Yeah.
All the showing is standing right here.
I know.
Anytime now.
Yeah.
I'm just so thankful for Tony and Vonnet and the Freetown Collective. All the acts Nissa coming through to do
I'm
this,
so
because
sorry we forgot Terry Lyons.
Terry Lyons.
is coming
monarch.
to
How could
bless
you forget
St.
Terry
Xavier's.
Lyons?
She's coming
Yeah.
to bless St. Xavier's.
How could you
Trust
forget
me.
Terry?
I am.
She's going to really bring and put on a show that would blow the people's mind. You come and you're celebrating in this ambience. You're under the big salmon tree and the stars. You're seeing your friends, but at the same time, you are contributing directly to funding that library being enhanced, putting in, bringing it to that modern state, and giving the students the opportunity to go sit down. They could get their hands on a book, but also the technology that we're going to put into the library itself and the structure.
We're having a good time for a good cause.
For a good cause.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yes.
So this is a food inclusive event.
Food inclusive, cooler event.
Tell us about the food.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now the food, every year the team decides on the menu, but what I can't tell you, normally you go to some events and get hors d'oeuvres, some little finger foods. No. We are talking about food. So if they decide that this year they're going with a menu of curry, you're getting assortment. And when we talk about the dessert station, what I can hint you, last year they had that flowing ambience of a chocolate fountain with strawberries and all these things.
Yeah.
Some great surprises planned, but I'm not the person in that area of the food.
Okay.
I understand they have their area, they keep surprising me with stuff, but what we are seeing, the volume, is going to be something that you would love for the price of only $400.
Yeah.
$400.
For a good cause as well.
And you come and you enjoy yourself. And while you're there, you will forget that it's a fundraiser, because it's an event that could stand up against any other event. And St. Xavier's Private School, alongside Team A+, we are proud to present this.
So I've been there from inception.
Yeah.
So this being its third year, I've seen it grown.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a fantastic event once it keeps happening.
Yeah. And we also see some of the restoration happening to the schools as well here. That's incredible work. 72 hours, no limits. That's really incredible work. So now the library. What's the current state of the library that's in the school?
The library, it's good. We have books and so sorted and for the children and so. But if you look at the demands of today,
yes, you have to keep up.
Correct. You have
a lot of technology.
So,
and these kids are very, very
tech savvy.
Correct.
That's very much so.
And what we're looking at, we want the environment to be one we want children to be excited to go to the library.
Yeah.
You understand? So with adding the things that they have in place, they showed me a sketch of some of the things that they're bringing. It is going to be exceptional. The first edition, we were able to install 16 air-conditioned units within 72 hours.
Wow.
We start on a Friday. We work straight through. That school opens Monday morning, bright and early, uninterrupted. And thus far, Team A Plus did 3 schools. We did St. Xavier's Private School. We did St. Joseph Convent St. Joseph. Yeah. We did Bishop Anstey Junior School. And now we're coming back to St. Xavier's because we have to hit that library.
Yeah.
And then we go on to another school to help them.
So Sherwin, you've been giving back a lot. You've enjoyed such a wonderful, beautiful career spanning so many years. But now your work is really about giving back while still entertaining.
Yeah, I love what I do, and I have the opportunity to do both of them. But I keep showcasing to persons. It's not Sherwin Winchester alone. I'm the face and the name, but there's a team behind me as well as the acts that make this possible.
Yeah.
So we're calling you guys out. Come out and get ready for a fantastic show on the 3rd of June. You will come to St. Xavier's Private School for tickets, or you could go to Simon Music Supplies and get your tickets there. We are ready for you. Get your ticket, get your cooler, food inclusive, and we gonna have a great time while contributing to the cause.
And Sherwin, we are ready for you. As we say goodbye, thank you for joining us on another Trinidad and Tobago Today as we begin a brand new week. 6 to 8 tomorrow, we do this all over again. But for now, we close and give you something from the man himself, Sherwin Winchester.
Tonight is team we pumping, is weekend and I walk. Whoa, hey, raise all hands to drinking, is party till we drop. Whoa, you see on the 6th of June at the Vineyard, look how much sexy girl, yeah. I'm about to hold, this woman push back on me, she forward, she feel it all. Hey, 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 don't rock the thing so, baby, don't rock it so. Don't rock the thing so, baby, don't rock it so. Ladies and gentlemen, yo, brother.
She was Steve,
yeah.
She was Steve.
Yeah.
Woman in the and you know what I mean. Too much girl in the hot girl teeth. Hey,
It's 16 girl to a man, everybody says Steve, Steve. I wanna rock with you, baby, and then the friends could fly. And then we call down there, and then we call down there. I wanna rock with you, baby, tell your friends goodbye. Hold your glass of wine to the sky and tell them, in a party with my baby, in a party with my baby, in a party with my baby, in a party. Tell them I say, ring ding diggy diggy dang diggy dang dang, bing bang bang. Way back. Hey, at the Vineyard, get ready. You didn't want like fire, baby. I'm starting to put fire. Oh, and now
You are roasting my desire.
come out of the 6th of June, right? Hey, don't rock it so. As we are with coolers and we going. Hey.
What if possibility was only the beginning? Welcome to Limitless, a journey where ideas become action and action becomes impact. From breaking barriers and challenging misconceptions to designing with dignity and driving innovation with heart. This series explores how inclusion is moving from concept to community in Trinidad and Tobago. Across each episode, we meet the change makers and everyday leaders turning challenges into opportunity, building real solutions that change real lives, from possibility to impact. This is Limitless.
Well, once again, we're at summer's doorstep. The action is picking up with a variety of events that'll thrive alongside all of the popular attractions. Hello everyone, I'm Aidan St. Agathe and welcome to Caribbean Passport TV.
All eyes will be on Antigua this summer for the 2026 Carnival celebrations, to which everyone is invited to feel the rhythm. With over 2 months of pre-events to warm things up, Antigua and Barbuda is event and activity driven. So if eco-adventure and marine life are among your passions, then Scooter Snorkeling is the tour company for you.
Your news, anytime, anywhere. TTT News brings you the facts that matter most, on air and online. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning, this is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts, making the news at this time. According to UNICEF, domestic violence and intimate partner violence are highly prevalent in the Caribbean, with an estimated 45% of women in the region experiencing physical or sexual violence in their lifetime. Co-director of the Grenada Legal Aid and Counseling Clinic and coordinator of the Man-to-Man program, Tyrone Buckmeyer, is a champion of male-to-male intervention as a key strategy in addressing domestic and intimate partner violence.
We've had over 700 men referred into the program. We've had 560 plus of those men meet the criteria for successful completion. There is a regional criteria that says you have to attend these many sessions, your attendance and participation must be such and such in order to be considered a successful applicant.
Mr. Buckmeyer highlighted pertinent statistics indicating that the initiative has been working with perpetrators of domestic violence in Grenada for more than 21 years.
We know that up to today, the recidivism rate, that is the rate of men who have offended in a similar offense, who have committed a similar offense, that recidivism rate is less than 10%. So if you've had 560 men go through an intervention, and as far as we know, only about 56 of them have committed any sort of similar offense, I think anybody will agree that a 90% rate of non-reoffending is successful.
Mr. Buckmeyer will host a public lecture titled Domestic Violence Prevention, What Works For and With Men. The event will take place on May 19th and is being held in collaboration with the Coalition Against Domestic Violence in Trinidad. In other news, Minister of Health Dr. Lakram Bodo stated that approximately 20,000 units of blood are collected annually, which is significantly below the estimated requirement of 40,000 units each year. He made the remarks while speaking at a blood donation drive hosted by Siwa TT on Sunday. Dr. Bodo is calling for stronger national coordination and increased public participation to address the country's ongoing blood shortage, while also urging more support from NGOs and the private sector.
My time at the ministry, I've realized that there needs to be more coordination at the top level, which is what is happening at the ministry. So the National Blood Transfusion Service is going to take the lead in terms of the coordination with the RHAs. But more importantly, we want to partner with NGOs. Siwa TT is an important NGO in our opinion to partner with, and also to reach out to the corporate world. So I want to take this opportunity to invite NGOs and corporate citizens to join us in this effort.
He also proposed a national blood donation launch ahead of World Blood Donation Day on June 12th, with the aim of building a sustained program beyond a single-day event. Further, he emphasized that voluntary blood donation remains central to saving lives, despite cultural and systemic challenges, and are urging more citizens to step forward to support the efforts. In sport, it was a day that would live long in the memory for the community of Simeon Road. On Sunday at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, Simeon Road FC defeated Wolfpack Icons 3-0 as they were crowned the inaugural East-West Corridor Football League champions. After an even start, a high-lofted cross was controlled by Karen Cummings before tournament top scorer Jean-Haim McPhee scored a beautiful left-footed volley. Karen Manswell then doubled his team's lead in the second half, scoring from close range. An own goal from Wolfpack's Nathaniel Garcia would cap off the win that also saw Simeon Road win a cash prize of $120,000, which was presented to them by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala Persad-Bissessa, SC. And that was your TDT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. From all of us here to you, have a great day.
This is TTT. Live for local.
A historic milestone for the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment and a proud moment for women in military service. After years of dedication and exemplary leadership, Colonel Josette McLean has made history as the first woman to attain the rank of colonel.
30 years of service means that I bring significant experience, significant learnings to the table, and